Hi everyone, welcome to this CKLA tutorial on sound blending. Sound blending is a skill critical for reading, so that's why in CKLA it begins in Unit 2. This might be a great time to grab your teacher guide. Thank you too for reading the introduction. It's going to explain the sequence of oral exercises that are going to be building up these sound blending skills that start as phonological awareness activities in lessons 1 and 2. So in lesson 1 and 2, we're going to be teaching students that you can hear the syllables in words and then blend them back together. It begins by teaching students the hand motions, and they are 1, 2, together, again, 1, 2, together. Then we can introduce the words to students. So you'll offer them cupcake, 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 snowflake, snowflake, snowflake. Pretty soon you'll be offering students sailboat, and they'll say sailboat, sailboat. And after they learn that there are syllables that can be blended into words, we can also learn that there are sounds that make up words. So you will hear the onset and rhyme of n, o's, nose. After lessons 1 and 2, we're going to be moving from phonological awareness, where it's the work of the ear to hear the syllables, and move a little bit higher into phonemic awareness, where students are going to hear the beginning, the middle, and the end sounds in the words, and then blend those together. Again, these are oral exercises. And because we're working with phonemes now, it's probably a good time to go to the end of your Unit 2 teacher guide in the appendix and take time to read how these sounds are pronounced so that you're giving students linguistically correct pronunciations of the sounds. You can also go to the Amplify website and go into their sound library with the help of your coaches. They're going to offer you in the library the sounds that each of the phonemes make, and that'll give you a chance to calibrate the way you pronounce them with the way we would like them to be pronounced for students. There is another resource as well, and they are sound cards that can be found in the accompanying folder that are going to offer you a quick reference sheet on how to pronounce the sounds, as well as which ones are our quick sounds, our 1-second sounds, the consonants that can't be stretched. Then we've got the consonants that can be stretched, and important in here are the sister sounds. So for example, we've got the f and the v, and we really want students to hear the difference between our pronunciation of fan and van, or when we give them the s and the z, another pair of sister sounds, that we can enunciate clearly for students the difference between sip and zip, or met and net. So think of these as sounds that can be held for a little bit longer. And finally, our short vowel sounds, the sounds that we elongate when we sing or stretch out a word. Those are just a jaw drop apart when we pronounce them, as our mouth opens up a little wider for each of these sounds. So these we would want to hang on and help students hear the difference between the words tan, ten, and tin. Okay? So thank you for checking out your sounds. Make sure you're calibrating them with the sound library, and you'll be all set to go in lesson 3. So in lesson 3, we're going to learn arm gestures that begin with a 1, 2, 3, and blend. And you can practice this with students for a little bit first, as described in your teacher guide. So you'll be doing with your class 1, 2, 3, blend. Again, 1, 2, 3, and blend. For students who have a little bit of difficulty maybe finding those spots, you can put stickers on their arms, and that just offers a place for them to land each time we say a number. It starts to build a one-to-one correspondence, and it helps them build a muscle memory so that when you start introducing the sounds, they can follow along and they're not left behind. When you look at lesson 3, it's going to help you with the words that you'll introduce to students. And this is when you want to make sure that you do have your teacher guide in front of you. This isn't a memory task for the teacher, that you really can follow the guide here. Your students will be seated in front of you or near you so that they are listening and they are watching. And you're the one with the teacher guide. So you can begin, and we're going to use a gradual release model for this. That makes your work replicable and ensures that we can have students supported every step of the way in the I do, we do, and you do process. So in the I do, the teacher is going to model the sounds for the students, and that will sound like this. My turn, listen. Now we're going to invite students to practice, and your prompt for that, as we follow the card, is together with me and together as a class. We're all going to practice. The next step is a gradual release. Here's where we want to provide students the opportunity to show us, can they say the same sounds in the sequence we gave them just a second ago by themselves. So notice, I'm going to say, and I'll do the motions, and I'll mouth the sounds, but I'm going to be listening hard because I want to see if we get this part right so that I can give students the final direction, which is prompted by the words blended, so they can sweep down their arm and say, fun. Each of these steps allow you to make corrections along the way if there's an error, but let's take a look at what it sounds like if things were rolling smoothly and you could get through the whole exercise with your class performing perfectly. So I'm going to be looking at lesson 3 and doing numbers 1 through 6 for you. Please feel free to follow along. We're going to start with fun, end with zoom, and again, follow along or do it together with me. We'll follow the gradual release model. All right, everybody, get ready. Time to sound blend. You bet. Arm at your shoulder. My turn. Listen. On. Together with me. On. Your turn. Blended. Yes, fun. Be sure and confirm that response to make sure that you let students know they just did it correctly. They understand the task. Next, my turn. Listen. S. Together with me. S. Your turn. Blended. Yes, mess. My turn. Listen. Ish. Together with me. Ish. Your turn. Blended. Yes, fish. Next word. My turn. Listen. Sign. Together with me. Sign. Your turn. Blended. Yes, sign. And then you continue on with mean and end with my turn. Listen. Together with me. Your turn. Blended. Yes. Zoom. Students enjoy doing this practice with you, especially once they get the hang of it. So take a moment at this time, pause, practice this with a partner, and then come on back when you're ready to talk about some of the miscues that can happen during this process. See you in a couple of minutes.